You know, as you mentioned, you know, North Carolina losing to Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of people on offense. But you've got the guy that's the presumptive, 1, 2, 3, wherever he is up at the top of the NFL draft, assuming he gets out of this unscathed. Because that offensive line got absolutely demolished by the Virginia Tech front. So, you know, the curiosities begin. So, like, it's the double-edged sword, right? I know for college football, it's the, all right, let's get all these big games going, get everybody's appetites whetted. But for the players, staff, especially with the amount of turnover that you have, it just seems to me you've set yourself up, as you said, for a rough start, and now you're trying to climb back out of it. We certainly saw that LSU last night, losing to UCLA. I went the other way in the pick, and I think I was one of you at the end. Obviously, the betting numbers say LSU is still favored, but I think every pundit went down the UCLA bandwagon and jumped on board after the demolition of Hawaii. I'm raising my hand going, wait a minute, what? And obviously there's a lot of other circumstances given Hurricane Ida and the displacement stuff going on with the LSU team that, you know, you try to factor in how that's going to have, you know, work with them emotionally and mentally. But you have a game where, again, UCLA's running game comes to attack, and, you know, finally you have this big non-conference win from Chip Kelly, and the eyebrows are raised here in Los Angeles. Clemson only scores 3 points. Just one of those first weeks where you just took note after note going, wait, what happened there? And you're trying to find how you can fit in a place like you're in that Batman movie with all of the monitoring of people because you needed that many monitors for the number of games that were going on.
There was a lot, but that's college football, and that's, you know, I was telling my kids yesterday, I was like, the one thing that I love so much about college football is there's a game on every channel. Like, there's games on, like, the Hallmark channel sometimes. Like, it's so crazy. You go to any type of station, there's games, and if you take a minute to look at it for a little while, they're playing football. They are playing football, so I mean, I love college football. I love, it's my favorite. I would say high school is a close second. I enjoy pro football, but I enjoy the playoffs more. I just think there's just something about the energy of a college game, of a high school game, that it's just not matchable. You know, the purity of it, the sanctity of it, just the realness of it. They haven't been, you know, ruined by the forces of life, or haven't been impacted by the forces of life. And you see a grown professional. You know, it's like you're seeing raw, and they're chasing something. And I know guys are chasing something in the pros, but it's just that whatever it is they're chasing when they're in the high school level, when they're in the college level, they're chasing something in a way, because you know the vast majority of these guys, what they're chasing, they're not going to get, right? But to see the pursuit of it, the attempt. See, to me, I take it a little deeper when I watch these young babies play, because in the end, I know they're hungry to make it. You know, once you hit the pros, even if you don't even make it for a long time, you can eat the disappointment, and you have to live with the disappointment of if you didn't play long, if you didn't make it onto a team, if you didn't last very long, or you had a good career. Like, I live with the fact that I had a good career as a pro. Not as great a career as I did at the other levels, but I still made it. And for whatever it's worth, if anybody would want to question my career, I tell them they can kiss my ass, because I do have accolades. It just wasn't up to the standard, but I still can sit there and say I made a ton of money, and at the end of the day, I live my life the way I want to live my life, because I won in my pursuit of my American dream, playing the game of football, right? So it's like, you have the justification of I played pro. But when you're in college, or you're in high school, you know, the pursuit in high school is to make it to college, right? But it's still in the back of your head. If I could just make it to college, I got a chance.
Well, you got a chance. It's the lottery ticket. philosophy to it all, right? And certainly the path for some is going to be different. The way they enter a program, the expectations. I mean, for you, they were lofty, and then obviously you go to the NFL, and as we talk about all the time, and we will as the show progresses, start getting into some of the divisional picks and doing a little bit of season preview fun. You know, a lot of your success depends on where you go. And I think that's something that's often just dismissed and overlooked when we're analyzing the good, the bad, the ugly of an NFL career. You know, oh, this guy didn't pan out. It's like, well, what if he had gone to here? And unfortunately, that's not the way it works, right? You don't get to pick where you go unless you're an undrafted free agent.
And still don't get to pick.
And even then, you're still definitely not picking, right? Because you need multiple people calling you there. But with, you know, the NFL draft, like you can go into a place and it's just not the right fit. You and the coach, the owner's got his hand over everything, whatever the case may be, or her hand over everything, as it were. But it's just the idea that you're going through, you know, for college football. I mean, you have folks like this. This is Ed Orgeron walking into the stadium. He decided, well, let's engage the good folks that are yelling at me. Hey, bring it on. Bring it on, you little sissy blue shirt. And they did. You know, so you have that part of college because you've got the characters. And pro coaches aren't doing any of that. You know, the college coaches are part of the theater, as it were. But you talk about the players and trying to reach for that dream, you know, they're on scholarship, and we know, hey, scholarships can be revoked, right? They are year to year. And certainly the fans being back in the stadiums is a whole other part to this that it's different than anything else. I remember my time at Northwestern, you know, that's some of the best times ever were held even though we were getting drugged routinely while I was there. Because there was just the love of sport, and you knew none of those guys, or very few of those guys were even going to get a workout.
Did you want me to bring up your alma mater?
They couldn't finish on Friday.
Yeah.
That's really all it comes down to. They made big plays.
You know,
Special
Bucky
teams
was very excited to talk about that game.
I have no doubt.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring it up unless you brought it up.
No. Look, I'm a realist where it comes down to it. You got some personnel losses, as everybody does, but you look at that